Welcome back everybody to another episode of Direct Comparison. In today's episode, we're going to be comparing the popular independently developed Battle Royale game PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds to this past weekend's open beta test for Call of Duty's Blackout mode. Before we get started, it's likely Call of Duty will have superior overall image quality considering the significantly higher budget. So for this video, we're not only going to look at various graphical elements like we always do, but also take a look at various gameplay elements that may be better or worse between games. Both games are running at their highest settings on the PC platform at a 1440p resolution, and we'll be disabling motion blur for the sake of producing the best overall picture quality. Also, keep in mind that Call of Duty is still in its beta state, and could potentially be improved before the game's official release in October. Alright, so as expected, Call of Duty has much higher fidelity textures, with things like rocks and dirt appearing crisper. But one interesting thing I noticed when comparing these various objects was Call of Duty's more simple and cartoony overall art direction. Now, it's not necessarily Fortnite in this regard, but things like grass appear more stylized than they do in PUBG. And because of this, the game looks more polished, and the resulting performance is significantly better than in PUBG. Lighting also looks much brighter and more colorful in Call of Duty, and this one really boils down to preference. Though I will point out that overall global illumination appears much better in Call of Duty, with tree leaves reacting more realistically to direct sunlight. Shadows look more natural in Call of Duty with a more diffused, softer appearance and cleaner edges. Special effects also appear very different between games, but some of these, especially specific item functionality, comes down to the difference in the time periods. The grenades, for example, seem to feature more of an explosive appearance in Call of Duty, whereas PUBG goes for a more realistic and authentic approach. The smoke grenades in PUBG slowly fill an area with a low layer of smoke, while the smoke in Call of Duty quickly emits from the canister, filling the area within a second. Now, despite these different dispersal methods, the actual effect itself looks much more refined in Call of Duty than whatever's going on in PUBG. And finally, we have water effects, which actually don't really look that great in either game. Sure, Call of Duty's looks more colorful, but that's mainly because of the game's more tropical setting. Now, I would generally have a sound comparison at this point, but considering most of the effects between these games are vastly different from each other, I think I'll save that for a more in-depth comparison when Black Ops 4 officially releases in October. Instead, let's break down the differences between various gameplay elements in both games. So, starting off, we have the initial drop. In PUBG, you'll spawn in a cargo plane alongside all 99 other players, and can skydive out once over land. In Call of Duty, you'll spawn in one of several helicopters, with a max player count of 88, though this number could potentially change upon release. Unlike in PUBG, Blackout equips players with wingsuits, which allows them to travel extreme distances, assuming they gain enough initial speed. This changes the drop substantially. Players in Call of Duty can basically drop as soon as the game starts, and land at any location they want on the map. In PUBG, you need to be more careful about when you jump out of the plane. Generally, you want to wait until the ends of the plane line up with your target drop zone, and your rate of acceleration doesn't change as you descend, meaning you'll always reach the zone before anyone else if you time it correctly. Players can also manually deploy their parachute in PUBG, allowing them to reach further distances, but at reduced speeds. I'm not positive, but I don't think you can do this in Call of Duty, and instead will automatically deploy your parachute if you're at a certain low elevation. Upon landing, the gameplay is pretty much exactly the same between games, outside the fact that Call of Duty is always played in first person, whereas PUBG can be played in either third or first person. Movement is much stiffer in PUBG, with lower budget animations. Call of Duty is significantly smoother, with polished traversal and much cleaner animation work. This alone changes the experience substantially and greatly improves the combat experience in Call of Duty over PUBG. The rougher animations in PUBG do lend themselves to a slower gameplay pacing, which many players will appreciate over the much more fast-paced, simplistic control scheme of Call of Duty. Players can slide around on the ground in Call of Duty, shoot while vaulting, and you'll often run into groups bunny hopping in fields to avoid gunfire, something that was possible in PUBG but not nearly as common. Looting functions a bit different between games. Both games allow you to aim at an item on the ground and press a button to add it to your inventory, but Call of Duty takes it a step further by automatically equipping compatible attachments to your currently equipped weapon. If you don't like this, a separate button can be used to add the item to your inventory and use it later. Players in PUBG can hold 2 large weapons in addition to a sidearm. Call of Duty restricts you to only having 2 total weapons, making pistols and revolvers completely useless. Weapons in Call of Duty feature almost zero recoil, making them incredibly easy to use, a staple of the Call of Duty franchise. More hardcore players will likely prefer PUBG's more realistic recoil design, with players needing to choose the correct rate of fire based on their distance to the enemy and choose their engagements much more carefully. Call of Duty doesn't seem to offer an option to switch the rate of fire on its guns, though considering the easy to control weapon recoil, this shouldn't be too much of a problem. Call of Duty players can also use their weapons while swimming, even when underwater, which removes those awkward situations where you're stuck in the water, victim to whoever's on the beach in front of you. Melee combat is much easier in Call of Duty, with the signature auto-lock melee system being implemented that pulls your character towards a nearby target for a hit. PUBG's inventory system is designed around equipment weight, with every item having its own specific weight that can prevent you from filling up your backpack with too many heavy items. Call of Duty simplifies this a great deal by making it so items have no weight and you're only limited by the amount of equipped items in 5 to 10 item slots. Ammunition does not take up one of these slots and can be maxed out without penalty. Both games feature various healing items and explosive items, but again, this is simplified significantly in Call of Duty to help better streamline the experience. Players in PUBG who are hurt can apply bandages, which can recover a small amount of health over time, a first aid kit which will instantly recover a large portion of health, and a med kit which can heal you completely. Call of Duty is similar, but makes it so bandages recover a small amount of health instantly. One of the best parts about the healing in Call of Duty is that it can be done while on the move. All you have to do is press and hold the associated hotkey, and you'll heal yourself while sprinting away from danger. This can make firefights much more difficult, as players aren't stuck standing still behind cover like they would have been in PUBG, and you'll need to focus more on dropping players before they have a chance to react in Call of Duty. But what really makes Call of Duty stand out are its more advanced items. Players can equip portable microwave shields, barbed wire to block access to stairs, and even a grappling hook, which can not only be used to grapple up steep surfaces, but can also be used to save yourself from a huge drop. One of my favorite items in Blackout was the recon drone, which can be used to scout the area remotely with a little car, preventing those awkward situations where you're crawling around in the grass completely unaware of where the enemy is hiding. I think players will either love these items or hate them depending on how much they prefer realism. Obviously, jumping off of a tower or grappling around a corner at crazy speed is a bit too fast-paced for some players, but some may appreciate the more fast-paced gameplay style. Players can also find perk crates around the game world in Call of Duty, which grant temporary benefits like silent footsteps, seeing enemy vehicles through walls, and paranoia, which plays an audio cue when an enemy is aiming at you. These perks seem like an odd addition. They benefit you for sure, but they're such a hassle to equip in the inventory and they just don't seem all that necessary in the overall scheme of things. Vehicles play a big role in maneuvering the huge maps in PUBG, and thankfully, Treyarch decided to invest in creating vehicles for their Call of Duty experience as well. Call of Duty only features 4 different vehicles: the ATV, which can seat 2 players, the cargo truck, which doesn't really have a limit of the amount of players that can ride in the rear bed, a boat, which again, passengers can simply stand on the boat while it's moving, and a helicopter. Now, the helicopter is an awesome addition that at first sounded like it might be overpowered, but in practice is actually a great addition to Battle Royale. It doesn't feature any weapons, aside from friendly passengers shooting small arms off the side, and it makes so much noise that anyone and everyone will know you're coming and try to shoot you down. But it's great for clearing large distances quickly and getting to strategic locations on the map. The vehicles control pretty poorly in both games, with handling in PUBG feeling too loose and handling in Call of Duty way too tight, with jerky steering and weird handbrakes that don't seem to help much. There's no need to refuel vehicles in Call of Duty, unlike PUBG, where you're required to use jerry cans to keep the vehicle running. The map designs between games are also significantly different, not only in their appearance, but the gameplay style they offer. PUBG maps are generally wide open with little cover and various copy and pasted buildings thrown around. There's large towns and a few iconic locations like the school or military base to explore as well. Call of Duty takes this a step further though, and adds in classic multiplayer maps from past Black Ops games over the years. Maps like Firing Range, Cargo, Nuketown, and even the Asylum all make appearances, and are pretty much the same as before. This makes the map in Call of Duty significantly more fun to play, as combat encounters generally take place in some of the more iconic locations, and allow for more fun, varied combat encounters. There's still a bunch of copy and pasted buildings throughout the more open-ended areas of Blackout's map design, but they're more like pit stops along the way to more memorable areas. The map is also a bit smaller in Call of Duty than most of the maps in PUBG, though this isn't necessarily a bad thing, as it allows for faster matches and more active combat situations. PUBG often has you going for several minutes at a time without seeing another player, which can make it all the more frustrating when you're sniped from across the map after a 30-minute long sprint. Call of Duty's combat seems to take priority over collecting loot, and this is great as it removes that frustration you get when you acquire a huge amount of resources in PUBG and never get a chance to use them. There's also some fun things thrown into Call of Duty's map to make it more interesting, like zombie areas. Zombie areas are one of 4 or so areas on the map that have the chance to spawn in a swarm of zombies. These zombies take a lot of rounds to kill, and they drop some useful items like bandages and ammunition. These areas also sometimes house rare loot in mystery crates, which can be identified by the classic huge beam of blue or red light coming from the sky. This helps to draw players together and encourage more combat encounters, and the zombies work as a great tool, allowing you to identify enemy presence and act as distractions. Random airdrops are a thing in both games, though I found players were less inclined to seek out crate drops in Call of Duty than they are in PUBG. Weapons found in crate drops are generally found in the open world already, only crate drops often drop operator weapons, which I guess are slightly more effective weapons than the standard versions, I'm not really sure. Next, we have the circle. The circle functions the same between these two games, with the circle slowly shrinking within itself until all players have killed each other. But instead of the circle just moving away at the end like it does in PUBG, giving one player an unfair advantage, the circle correctly shrinks towards its center, forcing players to fight against each other while taking damage. I found that the circle wasn't nearly as annoying as it was in PUBG, possibly because the map was much easier to traverse in Call of Duty, whereas if you dropped on the wrong side in PUBG, you basically were guaranteed not to survive. There's also a perk you can equip in Call of Duty that reduces the damage you take while out of bounds, and being able to heal yourself while moving makes it much easier to get in zone without dying. And finally, we have the winner screen, or loser screen depending on how well you played. In PUBG, if you manage to be the last man standing, you're greeted to a winner chicken dinner. But in Call of Duty, you're given a simple victory message along with some hard rock music. And that pretty much sums up everything. Overall, Call of Duty is a solid battle royale experience that takes some great inspiration from PUBG and various other games before it to create a more polished and cohesive experience. Players in favor of more realistic combat will likely want to hold off on this Call of Duty game, as Blackout will have a lot more fast-paced gameplay mechanics like sliding, limited recoil, and crazy grapple guns. But if you're a fan of a more competitive and fun battle royale experience, then Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is definitely the way to go this holiday season. So what do you guys think? Do you still prefer PUBG, or are you more interested in giving Black Ops 4 a shot now? Let me know in the comments section, and if you want to see more videos like this or on Call of Duty, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this posted every week.